Honestly, I feel that this is a really even matchup.
Yeah, I agree. This has been pretty close games so far. And the Osprey versus Osprey on Storm, it's all about the micro. And Doggax saying, you can't out micro me.
I want to think that Flunge is a slightly better player, and game two was kind of more of a loadout win.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think the Buckies really did Flunge in. He did not have Aegis on that second map. He definitely brought it this time for sure. I assume one of his loadouts has Aegis. He's not going to fall for
Well,
that.
the loadout display, I don't know if that actually works, but we can
Uh,
we can kind of glance at one.
you can glance at one. You can't see his other. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I actually, in terms of spectator UI, I think you remember like the old UIs where you can see like their entire loadout
Yeah,
and like all the credits and upkeep. Yeah, I actually kind of preferred those UIs. I'm not gonna lie. The like old timey UIs. What do you
yeah.
think?
I don't think spectator UI is something that has been on Carbon Game's priority list of
I
priorities for a
agree. Yeah, for
long
sure.
time. So it's more in-game UI, and when you're
Mhm.
playing, the units that you have available to you are quite clear. And so as far as third party, hey, I'm a custom spectator, I
Uh-huh.
can understand why it's a little bit minimalistic as they changed it
Yeah.
to adapt to players. So actually, Doggax seems to be a little faster here. He goes bottom, then top. Flunge goes
I
top, then
think they will
bottom.
actually end up capping at the same time. Yeah, Flunge bringing his creeps over. Doggax actually ends up being a little bit slower. I think he might have lost one wave of creeps, but he has some runners here, so only going to be a few seconds behind Flunge. Not too big of a deal, especially on a map.
Mirror motions here. Four Longhorns on the high ground.
Hmm.
Curious how they're going to approach middle. My guess is just set up a big line of tanks and creep forward. And this is just. I don't think anyone's going to do anything sneaky, like a tango push to the corner or something. As cool as that would be, something tells me these players are a
Ooh.
little bit more conservative and that
Hmm.
they're
For
just
sure.
going to straight up just build their wall of tanks, get their wall of busters, because they're both level 3 now, so they're going to creep in some busters here and there.
Yeah, Buster's starting to come out. And I'm interested to see that Flunge is actually building a lot of ratchets, even despite being the Osprey. He actually has 2 ratchets out on the field. And Doggax actually has zero healing units out on the field. So he's relying only on his mech for healing, while Flunge has a few ratchets there to supplement his mech healing. Interesting. I'd like to see which strategy wins out on
Hmm.
that mid fight.
Yeah, it is always a little weird to see Osprey picking up ratchets and seekers. I think overall the dwindling in ground
Oh, and
firepower
Flunge
is
is
going to hurt him.
microing up, killing a few tanks. I think he might maybe even get the surround, potentially even capping mid if he micros up super aggressively here, but no, it looks like he's just going to play it a little bit safe.
Where's the rest of Dogax's upkeep?
21 upkeep. I'm pretty sure it's all here. Yeah, it looks
I
like
guess
all here.
he's just
Maybe
got
in
a much
queue.
wider concave, and Flunge has
Uh-huh.
got everything kind of centered in one spot.
Yeah, I agree.
The Buckies again. We'll see if Flunge has any kind of counter
Oh,
here.
he also has some in butchers. There's like some socketed butchers and stuff.
So looks like Dogax trying to whittle down those neutrals, take out a turret, maybe two, depending on how much time goes by. So he's going to leapfrog up, leapfrog forward. If he opens up that bottom, then this outpost is going to be glorious conquest.
For sure, it's pretty much undefended right now, but the key thing about Storm is that the outpost distance is so short, so Flunge can pretty much just micro all of his units over to that bottom outpost in like 10 seconds if he needed to. So I don't think he's too worried about that bottom lane.
It is a bit of an Osprey haven.
Hmm.
Tesla
I
coil on the
did.
short ground, or on the low
I
ground.
I saw a match. Is between Happy Death and this Xbox player or like PS4 player. His name is Sergeant. He's a pretty good player. He came like recently, and it was just like this. It was Osprey versus Osprey mirror match on Storm, and it definitely went for 45 minutes until finally one player decided, oh, I'm just gonna hit Y and see what happens, and that's how the game is usually decided. So I hope this game doesn't go like that because that was kind of boring, but it looks like this game is heading towards that direction.
I'll have you know that Y no longer orders your units.
Oh yeah, okay. I've actually like I was so used to the Y key so
You
that I
can't call it a Y
rebound
push anymore.
I rebound my push to Y just because I've been so used to that for how many ever years. So I'll always call it Y in my I don't know what the default is now anymore actually.
T.
T is the outpost push for me.
And R is the new outpost.
Ah yeah, see R I bound R to my ultimate ability.
How could you?
Ooh, my bad. I'm
I
sorry.
put
I didn't
it
know
on
this was
alt.
happening.
That way, every time I play bomber, I accidentally
Uh-huh.
alt F4 out of the game as soon as I hit level 6.
Uh, yeah, alt is a little bit annoying. Yeah, Y equals attack for T equals outpost. Those are the old hotkeys. Yeah.
Looks like Flunge brought Aegis, so shit's getting real on the bottom now.
Flunge did bring Aegis this time. He is not having any of the Buckies. No Buckies for Doggax.
Like,
And
oh, you
all the
think you can use missiles against me? That's cute.
and I'd say Flunge actually has the upper hand on this bottom lane. And I'm surprised that mid for both players kind of looking a little bit thin. Only a few tanks. Doggax just now reinforcing it a little bit.
I don't know, that's a long front line overall. This is trench
Yeah.
warfare to the extreme right now.
This is World War II. Or World War One, my bad. Doggax is the French.
Ooh,
Flunge is
quad busters, a single volley just ripped that longhorn in half.
oof. That's
So
devastating to see.
Doggax
And whoa,
getting
Doggax
little
actually
victories in the
making
top, but losing
yeah.
so much ground in the bottom. So we're turning
I
this
can't
map
tell
into a
which player is
Z.
coming out on top. Actually, upkeep is even as even could be, 35 to
Ooh, I
36.
think butchers are going to seal it.
Doggax is going for mid. He's going for it. He's going for it. He's leapfrogging
Really?
over and he's trying to take mid control. And it looks like he is actually getting a decent surround on mid. Flunge was nowhere to be seen
You
while
put
all
him
those
on
units are getting
capture, all
killed.
those creeps are going to suicide. But Flunge picking up the Gaddy. No, no, you
And
had.
Flunge has actually captured the bottom outpost while Doggax is going for mid. And Flunge even has a decent surround on the high ground with his tank. So I don't think Doggax is going to be able to hold mid for long
This
unless he
could
has some
easily
more
devolve
units.
into a base race if either player loses their nerve.
Yeah. And I think Flunge's unit's definitely looking a little bit more healthy, I would say. And Doggax, yeah,
But
choosing to pull back.
Flunge has got no energy, and the outpost that all his units are at is
Oh,
neutral, and
they're
it's going to
actually
be
it's
kept
actually been
neutral.
neutralized. I didn't even notice that Doggax
But there's
dropping
two Longhorn right
behind.
behind it, or rather a
Yeah.
Longhorn and a Buster.
And Doggax has actually reclaimed his bottom outpost as well. And it looks like
So
we're back where we started, Frisky.
Flunge on the back foot, and he's got a big upkeep disadvantage now because Doggax also has other units still back at his high ground outpost. He has a Gaddy on the fence, just in case
Mhm.
Flunge tries some shenanigans up top. A couple Busters still on bottom. I think Doggax, if he can get his resources back together for a focused push, really does have a big advantage. But losing a couple more onesie twosie losses on that upper ground outpost on the right hand side that he really didn't need to kind
Yeah.
of evens us back out. So Flunge is definitely able to stabilize here. Should be able to get that mid outpost neutral.
Mhm.
And now I'd say we are resetting here. Doggax not really able to
Yeah.
press that advantage.
At least we've seen some aggressive moves, you know. It wasn't like an Osprey stalemate. I see a Goliath in Doggax's queue, and it looks like he is pulling out the first Goliath. Both players level 7 now, so they should both be able to build those Goliaths. So I'd be interested to see if Berthas are coming out. And it looks like I see Bertha in Flunge's loadout and in Doggax's as well. So I assume Bertha's also going to be out on the field pretty soon.
Yeah, this is because they're Ospreys, because it's Storm. We're definitely going to see a transition to late game units, and I might even think we'd see Devastators here. Almost
I'd
guaranteed to
love
go
to
to
see some
nukes.
Devastators. Yeah, I'd love to see some nukes. Actually, I don't know if either of these players has brought nukes.
Well, I guess if it's
Okay,
Osprey versus Osprey, why would you bother?
yeah.
When you get
Because
down to
Osprey has
the
the
whole you can
overshield.
counter it with one button,
Uh-huh. Hmm. To beat a nuke with one button.
it's a good button. It's a really
It's a good
strong
button.
button.
It is a pretty strong button. I will give you that. Yeah. Do you think these players are newer players or older players from how they're playing?
As far as
I
grand
mean,
scheme of things,
I think I think Osprey Micro is pretty timeless. So honestly, I
it
would say
is.
either.
I,
It's
I
kind of
yeah.
just been a staple of Airmech.
I don't think how Osprey is played has fundamentally changed since Osprey was added to the game.
I agree. So I think these players could genuinely be pretty much anybody. Any prolific Osprey player in Airmech history.
That is some
But
good damage from those creeps. For
yeah,
free units, that's really not too shabby.
yeah, honestly.
So now that the Aegises have all been killed, Doggax, oh, here's a Bucky.
He has one Bucky. He's just teasing it a little. You know,
He's
he doesn't
almost
want to
killed a
give too
Longhorn.
much. Yeah. He doesn't want to
Man,
build
he's a
too
terrible
many.
shot, but he's
Mhm.
at max range, so it's kind of expected.
He's trying his hardest, okay? You can't. It's his first day on the job. You know, he didn't expect to be thrown into this fight, and he's working. You know, he's having at it,
He used
trying
to
his
be a
hardest.
postal worker. So
What
that's.
spawns out of Bucky's? Did Bucky spawn Sam's? I think.
Oh shoot, I don't know. I didn't realize any.
I think when they die, they have a chance to spawn Sam's. I'm pretty sure. Oh, and
Okay,
Flunge making
it
some
would make sense.
aggressive
They have a
moves here.
chance. It's not like
Uh,
Zipper. Those different
yeah,
units have different percent chance to spawn something
Flunge
when they go
making a
down.
lot of moves here, pushing his tanks, and it looks like Flunge might actually be able to
I
take mid
mean,
off of this.
yeah, he's pulling Doggax off the high ground or off the low ground onto the high ground, but that's one,
And
two,
only one.
three
Oh no, there's a
Goliaths.
lot more.
Doggax with Berthas going down on the main clump. Now that Flunge is kind of hooked together, the Bertha's going to able to really dish out that damage.
And
Um,
especially since a lot of Flunge's units are kind of those lower tier tanks. He doesn't have a lot of glides on the field. He has a lot of longhorns and busters and stuff. Those are gonna get shredded by the Berthas.
Something else that's really inconvenient is that this middle outpost has no sockets. So a
Yeah,
lot of
no
things where you have a
generators.
hot outpost like this,
Mhm.
like on Duel, you cap the outpost and you drop a lunchbox. You cap the
Yeah,
outpost and you drop a generator, something like that.
yeah.
There's a way that you can really iron out and
Solidify.
solidify. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And that you really can't do that. The middle on Storm is just a really fragile position, and you can't hold on to it until you've basically won the game already. So it's just this continuous trench warfare. The outpost serves less as a good base of operations and more of a distractor to all your slow
Distract. Yeah.
turreted weapons.
Mhm. I see that Flunge is stacking some creeps. I would like to see more creeps even be stacking. Like you stack 10, 12 creeps, and then you just send them on capture, right? And
I
then
want to
creeps
see
walk
bot
into
spawners.
outposts and distract all the things. I'd love to see some bot spawners, but I don't think either player has actually brought bot spawners. They probably have Whopper, I assume. They probably have
Yeah.
maybe Generator. I don't think they would bring Watt spawners in this fight. I have
When
not
you're
seen bot
going, because when you're going Osprey on
spawners.
Storm, bot spawners can really swing it to your advantage because you make sure that even though all the bots die, you're always the one who maintains control of that middle outpost. And they have a really
Yeah.
buster heavy composition. Your
hmm
busters are never the ones that are rotating off. Your busters keep shooting.
Yeah. And Flunge is pushing out. He is all inning right now. And there's only a few
Ooh.
Goliaths here, and I think the Longhorn are actually just going to win out over the Goliaths. Doggax
This
already
could
losing a
be
Goliath
really
right now.
good. This could also be really bad. I don't think he's going to
I'd like
round
to
the
see him
corner.
keep pushing. I looks like he's just pretty much stopped them. He used a custom follow point. If he kept pushing, I think he could have killed a lot of units right there and potentially won the game off that. But if he's just going to sit here, he's going to allow Doggax to kind of stabilize and get a better defensive position. That was his opportunity, I would say.
I don't know. I think he could have lost just as easily. I think he's more trying to get out of the fire of the Berthas
Uh-huh.
and just get Doggax out of the bottom of that outpost because Doggax himself was starting to creep around. So he's trying to push him off of that outpost and get a free Goliath kill while he's at it.
Uh-huh.
I would like to see either one of these players try to go for one of those juicy undefended corners.
I agree.
Now that
But
they're approaching maximum upkeep and they're probably going to start floating some credits, they'll be able to do it with things that aren't like zippers. They'll be able to feed in a longhorn or two spare.
well, I expect to see like fully socketed Whoppers, right? And at least another like 10, 20 Goliaths. And then once they like, left number equals the right number, maybe we'll see a push or two.
We also have the benefit of knowing that it's fully likely that if we just say loud and conspicuously enough what we want, the players may
Uh-huh.
hear.
Oh, true. I I might possibly maybe like to see a top push or a bottom push.
Hmm?
Possibly.
Hmm? Just saying that Doggax definitely doesn't have anything defending his bottom left outpost.
His fortress is just completely clear. There's nothing on his fortress
Oh,
right
turns
now.
out Bucky's in danger close with Goliath really don't do all that hot. Wow, that is a little bit of a one-sided skirmish there on the north side.
And Doggax making some attempts at an aggressive move at the bottom, but Flunge is just all over him. And his Goliaths are just taking a lot more heat than they're dishing out.
Both players officially at level 9. Expect to see Devastators, Gorgons, and
Missile
or
silo.
missiles coming out. This is
I
a
see
late
the
game
first Gorgon
composition.
out for Flunge.
Ah, man, I don't think that Goliath can stand up to that many other tanks. They're good.
That
They're not that good.
you see that Bertha that Doggax has? It's gonna completely shred that clump on the bottom. if Flunge isn't careful. I don't even know if it's shooting at it. I think it might be a little bit mispositioned.
Oh no, I
Oh,
think
it
it's
is. It
positioned
looks
just
looks
right.
like it's positioned just perfectly
Oh, no, it
to
isn't.
completely shred that comp.
I think Doggax needs more Berthas, but he just doesn't have the upkeep for it. And neither player with Whoppers, which is a little bit
Yeah, I'm a
surprising.
little bit
So
surprised to see.
this is the point where the game's going to hit a breaking point because now they're floating a lot of credits. You have both
Oh,
players at
Doggax is pushing.
20,000.
He's pushing top.
It's
After
push
I
or die.
suggest it's push or die, and he's going for. And oh my God, no, Flunge is pushing out as well.
Ooh,
We have a
okay,
base
counter
race.
push.
I
Yeah,
think we have
that's
a base
that's not
race.
a base race that Doggax can win if there is that
Yeah,
how
it's
that's going to
definitely not
play
a base
out.
race. And
He's
he doesn't have upkeep to defend either. He doesn't have
although
any
he is the
defense.
one
He's
ferrying
ferrying. He's
and
ferrying.
Flunge is not. But Flunge is going
But
for the
Flunge has a
defense.
lunchbox out on the field. He has a lunchbox shield as well, and he's defending. And
So
I think Flunge wins the space race.
I think Flunge has got a hard advantage here. That's going to be
Yeah.
really hard to defend.
And unless Doggax has some like something in queue that can bring out to defend here, and I don't think he does. I think he's going all in on the fort, and all in on the fort is not going to work in this situation at all.
It's just kind of interesting. Both players trying to get around the other's forces, and both seem to simultaneously just say, fuck it.
Yeah, and it looks like Flunge's units are going
Ooh,
to reach Doggax's fort first, and Doggax's fort is going down really, really fast, but Doggax has units over here as well, and it looks like, but Flunge is defending, and I think you have to give the
yeah,
advantage to the player that's defending, and yeah, it looks like
yeah,
Doggax was way off in his assumption that his units would get there faster, and it looks like Flunge definitely with a decisive victory over there.
yeah. The initial position, I think, is what made
Uh-huh.
that. I don't think it
Yeah.
was a tactical error. I think his
Uh-huh.
units were just in the
And Flunge
wrong
saved.
place at the wrong time.
Flunge hit it with the go back to the whole UK, bro. Wow. Just a
The
no
trash
end to the
talk.
savagery coming out from Flunge. I think Flunge is one of the candidates to potentially take this tournament.
It is possible.
Really, really showing his dominance over there with the Osprey micro. And yeah, I think Doggax could have had it. It's just going on that top lane is definitely slower because you have more corners to round, you have more bends to turn, and if you're pushing from middle, it's just going to be a straight shot to the fort.